Hello and welcome to Ag Ed 5310, College Teaching in Agriculture. I'm Dr. Myers, and in this video I want to introduce myself and also provide an overview of the course plan with specific focus on learning outcomes, assignments, and my expectations. So I want to start by acknowledging that my academic journey has involved many opportunities to teach at the collegiate level. When I was an undergraduate student at Kansas State, I served as a teaching assistant for the Intro to Agriculture class. And then when I was working on my master's degree at the University of Arkansas, I served as a teaching assistant. And that's where I really started to discover my love for teaching, and especially at the college level. So I went on and I got my PhD at the University of Florida, and while I was there, I served as a teaching assistant for several courses, as well as a lead instructor for a large enrollment writing intensive course. After this, I came to Texas Tech University in 2008. This is an authentic look at me in my favorite classroom. And I have moved through the ranks to become a full professor. I am also the department's graduate studies coordinator and get to work with our graduate students a lot. I co-advise our Ag Communicators of Tomorrow, or ACT chapter, and I'm also a proud member of Texas Tech's Teaching Academy. So I love to teach. It's what gets me up in the morning. It's what makes me love my job. And so I'm excited to have you in this class because it's allowed me to think more about my teaching and to identify ways that I can continue to grow and improve. So a little bit more about me personally. I have two girls. And they keep us busy, lots of activities. We love to cheer for Texas Tech at various athletic events. And then my husband, Daniel, and I have been together since my K-State days. And we like to travel and take our girls to exciting places. So I'd like to know a little bit more about you and, of course, give you a chance to introduce yourself to each other. So we'll be using Rader Canvas this semester, or Canvas as you might know it. So on Rader Canvas, you'll find a link to this discussion post, and this information is exactly what you will see there. But I'd love for you to introduce yourself to the group, and that way we can start to build this online community. So feel free to share some information beyond what I've prompted, and you're welcome to include a photo of yourself if you feel so inclined. But I primarily want to know a little bit more about your name, where you're from, what degree you're pursuing, any hobbies or interesting activities that you do outside of school. Then tell me a little bit about your experience with college teaching, either as a teaching assistant or an instructor even. And then what are your goals for taking the course? So basically, what do you hope to get out of this course? So let's move into providing an overview of the course. And here's a photo of a golf course, just to make that point more clear. In this syllabus, if you've seen it or you're about to, there are a number of learning outcomes. And it's really important when designing a course to consider where you want students to be at the end. So by keeping the end in mind, you can build the activities and assessments and teaching approaches to help them achieve these outcomes. So there's quite a few here, and I don't need to read them to you right now, but I hope that you can see that through this course, we're going to be able to speak more intelligently and informed about being more informed about various learning and teaching theories. You're going to be able to write outcomes, design a course syllabus. We're going to discuss various teaching methods and practices. You're going to create a teaching portfolio that encompasses a few assignments that could be used if you're applying for an academic job. I want you to continuously reflect on your own personal teaching beliefs and how you can continue to grow. And then finally, you're going to design a scholarship of teaching and learning project that will help bring together the theory, the research, to explore an area of interest to you that would help improve teaching or learning in your discipline. So I want us to pause because we're going to reflect a lot this semester, and some of these reflections will show up in discussion posts. Other times I hope it just gives you a chance to sit and think, and it might inform assignments that you have to complete. So I want you to reflect on your college experience and consider who were or are your best teachers, and what were those concrete things that they did, that they said, that they implemented, that made them the best. So I won't pause you can pause the video to reflect upon this, but I can think of people very quickly who come to mind. They're often those people who invested in me, who treated me as an individual. They helped me along my path. They challenged me, but perhaps gave me the support I needed to do more than I thought I would otherwise. So there's those things, those concrete things, and when you're working with a teacher who has those characteristics, you notice, and you certainly notice when you work with the teacher who does not. So with your reflection in mind, I want to point out this Rosenshine and First in 1971. It'll be in the slideshow. It's cut off in my video right now. But they pointed out these 5 key characteristics of effective teachers. And these are things that I hope that we can discuss throughout the semester. Specifically, how can you demonstrate these in your own approach to teaching? And how can we evaluate ourselves and others based on these? So the acronym here, CVEST, is an easy way to remember: clarity, variability, enthusiasm, student opportunity to learn the material, and being task-oriented. And so these are things that we'll continue to come back to this semester. So now I'd like to encourage you to open the syllabus and review some of the key information. So my contact information is on there. I also have a required and then a recommended book. So the required book is this, Teaching at Its Best. You can find it on Amazon or in the university bookstore. There's also, for your SOTL project proposal, using the APA publication manual will be very helpful. The Canvas, as I mentioned, or Rader Canvas, will be our learning management system this semester, so I'll be posting a lot of materials there, and if you're watching this video, you already know. Some policies are explained in the syllabus. Ideally, one thing to keep in mind is that assignments are going to be due at midnight on the due date. Discussion post will have a slight change where I'll have you do your initial post and then a follow-up to someone, and I'll go over that here in a moment. I want to acknowledge that generative AI is here, and it can be a useful tool, but I want to encourage you to limit your use of artificial intelligence. It's not authentic. It doesn't speak from your perspective or your voice. And if you decide that it's really something you need in order to synthesize your information or to spell check, then you need to acknowledge that you're using it. And we'll discuss AI more during the semester, because it's something that we as college teachers are going to have to grapple with. Civility in the classroom. So mainly in an online environment, we want you to be respectful. I have some other guidelines posted on the discussion board and in the syllabus itself. And of course, please read the other policy statements. So I'm going to take a moment, I'm going to pause this video and switch over to my syllabus just to help point out some of those elements. Okay, so here we are in the class syllabus. Again, here is my email and my phone number. When you email, I'll do my best to respond within 24 hours. It really helps me if you'll put this AgEd 5310 in the subject line. As I'm skimming my emails for the day, I'll make sure to look for that and try to get back to you in a more timely manner. So the course is asynchronous and online, and the instructional week is going to be from Tuesday to Monday. That way you'll always have a weekend to do the work, and I can send a reminder, or at least you'll have Monday as a reminder that, oh, things are due. So Canvas will have all the materials that you would need. There's some details there we've already discussed and I don't want to go over. We're going to talk about your assignments here in a moment. Here's information for the book that's required. We'll be using this quite a bit. And then the APA manual. So yes, you need internet access. You probably know this. We're going to use a few of these resources at various points in the semester, such as the Texas Tech Library to look for research, and then the TLPDC, and I'll explain that in a moment. So here's the course policies. The key thing to keep in mind is that Monday night is deadline day, and so if you can work with that goal in mind, you'll be fine. Things are going to be due every week in terms of discussion posts, and then other major assignments will be listed on the course syllabus schedule here at the end. I have some other statements, and it's, I'd like you to look these over. I'm sure they're kind of standard language at this point in your collegiate career, but it's important to acknowledge these. And then there's links to some additional ones. And then for technical support, if you need help with eRater or Canvas, I've included those links. So I'm going to stop here because I want to start a new video to go over the assignments and grading and give you a little more insight on those.